Hello and welcome back to Major League Talk Giants edition. Today is Thursday, May 11th, 2023. My name is Henry Self, and this is episode 13. Today, we're going to be going over the series against the Washington Nationals. It's a rough one. All right, so this was our 12th series of the year, closing out another homestand against a Washington Nationals team that is struggling to start the year as well as we are. Game one included such a confounding fluke of a first inning for DeSclafani that I had to wonder if the rest of the squad was affected psychologically and just remained in a funk. DeSclafani and the Giants gave up 5 runs on 7 hits in the first inning. 1 inning. The offense was shut down and the Giants lost 5-1. Game 2 was a City Connect night and featured a debut by Casey Schmitt, who did not disappoint. He delivered life and spark, hitting a home run for his first major league hit in his second at-bat. Schmitt and Webb propelled the Giants to a 4-1 win. Game 3 was simply a travesty. Manaea gave up 8 runs, only 4 of which were earned through 2 2/3 innings. When the Giants didn't start really showing life offensively until the late innings, dropping Game 3 11-6 in the series, 2-1. The starting pitchers for each game were Irvin versus DeSclafani, Corbin versus Webb, and then Gray versus Manaea. So for game one, like I said, our starter was DeSclafani, who had a very uncharacteristic first inning. Impressively or strangely, however you really want to look at it, he threw 6 shutout innings after. In the first inning, he faced all 9 batters of the Nationals, giving up 7 hits, 5 runs, struck out 1. Over the next 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. DeSclafani's final line was 7 innings pitched, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. For our own lineup, you had Wade Jr. at first, who went on 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Estrada at short, who went 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Peterson DHing, he went 1 for 3 with a home run and a walk. Davis was over at third. He went 1 for 3 with a strikeout and a walk. Conforto was in right. He went 0 for 3 with a walk. Haniger was in left, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Sable catching 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Wisely at second, and then he'd move over to center. He went 2 for 3. And then Stevenson started in center. He went 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And then Flores would pinch hit for him and then play second base, which is what forced Wisely over to center. And Flores went 0 for 1. Totals for the offense: 6 hits and 29 at bats, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and then the 1 run off the Peterson home run. Beck would come out to pitch the final 2 innings, giving up 1 hit and no runs, striking out 1. The offense overall left 5 on base with 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, grounded into 4 double plays. Peterson, Conforto, Davis, and Estrada. Wisely would hit a double, and the defense turned 1 double play of their own. And Conforto earned an assist. So looking at the pitcher report, DeSclafani, like I said, very, very weird first inning. 7 hits, 5 runs, but then shut down all the way through the 7th. He pitched 92 total pitches in this game. 44 sliders, 25 sinkers, 13 changeups, 9 four-seam fastballs, and a knuckle curve. 85.8 on those changeups, 93 on the four-seamers, 92.9 on those sinkers, 86.9 for the sliders. Sliders mainly just had drop, not a lot of break either way, at least according to the center line on here. The changeups, fastballs, and sinkers were all tailing more toward a right-handed batter. Same release point. And as far as his spray across the strike zone, there's not really a tendency to go one way or the other. It's just all kind of starts out wide, kind of comes down, and then just stays there. He threw 45 pitches in the strike zone, 47 outside of the strike zone. They would swing at 47 of his pitches and take 45. They only swung on 3 of his four-seam fastballs. As far as the rest of it, they swung at more of his sinkers than they took. Looks like a maybe 50-50 on the changeups and on the sliders. 27 balls, 22 strikes. 17 of those strikes were called. 5 of them were swinging. Fun fact, one of those swinging strikes was on that knuckle curve. 43 of his pitches were hit in some way. He got 16 foul tips, 18 hits for outs, 9 base hits. Now, those 9 base hits, 2 were sliders. 1 was a changeup, and the rest were sinkers. 13 hard hit balls. He had 1 fly ball, 5 line drives, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grounders. And I went back and rewatched the first inning, and honestly, like, so many of those hits were, so like I said, 7 hits in the first inning, and I think maybe 1 or 2 of them blooped into the outfield. Most of them were just finding holes. They were finding the holes really well. But like I said, DeSclafani made the adjustment after that first inning. Unfortunately, the offense could not answer and get any of those runs back. Calling balls and strikes was Emil Jimenez. His overall accuracy on here is only 84%. Overall consistency, 87%. And oddly enough, his overall favorite says it was plus 1.56 runs for the Giants. Plus 1.56 runs for the Giants, and we only scored 1 run. Going over the impactful missed calls. Number 1 was bottom of the 4th. Irvin to Peterson, no outs, runner on first, 3-2 count, strike, called a ball. Okay. Second one, bottom of the 8th. Edwards Jr. to Flores, 0 outs, runner on second, 3-1 count, ball is called a strike. Bottom of the 2nd, Irvin to Davis, no outs, bases empty, a 3-1 count, strike is called a ball. So 2 times on impactful missed calls where a Giant got on base because a strike was called a ball. And looking at these 2 locations, yeah, they're strikes. One is like halfway in the zone, the other one's clipping the zone. His called ball accuracy was 92%. So 6 of 79 called balls were true strikes. And his called strike accuracy, this is pretty terrible, honestly. Like, this is worse than the first game in the Mexico City series, where, remember, that one was like 78%, 74, 78. This one was 70%. 13 of 43 called strikes for true balls. That's, I don't know how you manage that. Like I said, I didn't watch the entire game, so I didn't really see or get aggravated, but 70%. That's terrible. But oh well, we lost the game. Game 2, we had Webb, and he turned in a quality start, not giving up a run until the 6th inning. His final line was 7 innings pitched, 9 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. Still looking for Webb to turn in a scoreless start. Really looking forward to that. Would like to see those hits kind of come down, but with the man on the shift and him being a high percentage ground ball pitcher, not entirely unexpected. For our lineup, Slater was in left. He went 1 for 3. Scored once. He would come out, be replaced by Conforto, who'd come in to pinch hit and then play right field. Conforto would go 0 for 1 with a walk. Estrada was at second. He went 1 for 5 with a strikeout, but he scored twice. Haniger was in right and then would move to left. He went 2 for 4 with a strikeout and a walk, 2 RBIs. Davis was playing third, 1 for 4 with an RBI. Flores, first base, 0 for 3 with a walk. Wade Jr. would come into pinch run for him and then play first base. VR DHing 1 for 3. Peterson would come into pinch hit and then also play DH. He went 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And then the fun story, Schmitt at short, he went 2 for 4 in his debut with only 1 strikeout and a home run. And then Bart was catching. He went 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Wisely, center field, 1 for 3 with a walk. Totals 10 hits and 35 at bats, only 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and the 1 home run, good for 4 runs. So improvement, Tyler Rogers would come out for the 8th, walking 1, giving up a hit, but no runs. Duvall would pitch the 9th, defending a 3-run lead. He'd get 2 strikeouts and a ground out. The offense would end up leaving 10 on base. Went 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Haniger hit a double. Davis earned a 2-out RBI. Estrada stole a base. The defense turned 1 double play, and Davis earned an error throwing. Looking at Logan Webb's pitcher report, 105 pitches in his 7-inning show. A lot of changeups, 50 changeups, 35 sinkers, 13 sliders, and 7 4-seamers. 88.1 on those changeups, 93.4 on his 4-seamers, 92.9 on the sinkers, and 85.3 on the sliders. As far as movement, obviously the 4-seamers stayed up and looked like they were tailing in to a righty. The sliders were tailing out, and then the changeups and sinkers tailing in as well. And it looked like his changeups and his sliders had about the same amount of drop on average. As far as his strike zone, at least for this game, it doesn't look like there's too much too wild on either side. Like it's got this weird, almost like triangle kind of shape where there's a few that are high and then they both come down and kind of go out and into a righty. So that's a little interesting to see there. He threw 56 pitches in the strike zone, threw 49 out of the zone. Batters would swing at 59 of his pitches and would take 46. They swung mostly at his changeups, and they mainly took sinkers. Sliders about 50-50, and 4-seamers roughly 50-50. 23 balls, 36 strikes, 22 called, 14 swinging. And then 46 of his pitches were hit in some way. He got 24 foul tips, 13 hits for outs, and 9 base hits. So those base hits, you had 5 changeups, 1 slider, and 3 sinkers. 11 hard hit balls, 3 of those were line drives, and the rest were ground balls. And of those hard hit ground balls, you had 6 changeups and 2 sinkers. All right, calling the balls and strikes was Chris Siegel. Overall accuracy 92%, overall consistency 93%, overall favor plus 0.29 runs for San Francisco. Of his impactful missed calls, top of the 4th, Webb to call, no outs, runner on first, 0-2 count, a strike is called a ball. Number 2, bottom of the 8th, Harris to Wisely, 1 out, runner on first, 2-1 count, strike is called a ball. And then bottom of the 7th, Thompson to Flores, 2 outs, runner on first, 2-0 count, strike is called a ball. Called ball accuracy, he was 94%, 5 of 84 called balls were true strikes, and his called strike accuracy, 88%, 6 of 50 called strikes were true balls. It's amazing how you can have an 18 percentage point difference in 2 home plate umps. Game 3, fans had to grit through another Manaea start, which seems to happen more often than not. We're not really. I've read a lot of the Reddit and Twitter comments. People are definitely not happy about Manaea's starts. I can tell you that Manaea most likely is also not happy about his starts. He was very blunt and just straightforward about his start when he was asked questions in post-game interviews. Just said that his stuff wasn't there. It sucked, basically. Um, Overall, his command and execution were lacking. The official score only credited him with 4 earned runs due to a Davis error. His final line was only 2 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 walks, 8 runs, 4 of those earned, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run. Um, Real quick, let's go over the lineup for the Giants. We had Wade Jr. at first. He went 1 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs, and a walk. Peterson was DHing 1 for 4 with a run and a walk. Davis at third, 1 for 3 with a run, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Conforto right field, 1 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Sable in left, 1 for 4 with a strikeout and an RBI. Slater in center, 0 for 2. He would get taken out because of a hamstring issue. He said it tightened when he was running to first. It should have been an RBI single, but because of the hamstring injury, slowed up on the base path, obviously got thrown out. He was replaced by VR, who would play second, 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Wisely was at second and then would move to center field. He went 1 for 4. Schmitt, another 2 for 4 day for Schmitt with 2 runs. Bart catching had a rough day, 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Total of 8 hits and 34 at bats with only 4 strikeouts. So progress. That's one of the lowest we've had all year. 5 walks, 6 runs. Tristan Beck would come in to relieve Manaea in the third for the last out, and then pitch through the eighth. He seems like he may be able to be a dependable middle innings reliever. Some of his release there do go for quite a few innings, especially when he's coming up behind Manaea. His final line was 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 1 home run. Waits would pitch the final inning, giving up a hit, an earned run, a walk, and striking out 1. Our offense left 6 on base, went 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Peterson and Schmitt hit doubles. As for defense, Davis earned his second error in 2 games, fielding this time. Conforto earned an assist. So this is another one I had to go back and watch because I was at work when the game was happening, and the first 4 runs that Manaea gave up were 100% his fault. And it went from 1-0 to 4-0 because of a 2-out, 2-strike, 3-run home run. And the guy who hit it, I think his name was Adams, it was his first home run of the year. So that hurts. And then the next inning, the next 4 runs, I went back and rewatched it. Davis mishandled a ball fielding it, tried to get over to first. And then they challenged the call. It didn't get overturned. It was too close to call, honestly. And besides, ties normally go to the runners anyway. So now you got runners on first and second. All the 4 runs that scored after that were considered unearned. So it is what it is. Manaea's pitching report: in 2 2/3 innings, this man threw 74 pitches, 27 sliders, 24 four-seam fastballs, 22 changeups, and 1 sinker just out of nowhere. 85.6 on the changeups, 92, almost 93 on the four-seamers, 81.8 on the sliders. Sliders have a lot of drop, and then the four-seamers and changeups tail out from a righty, typically, based on this center line here. Almost a 6-foot release point. Strike zone starts up and away from a righty, coming kind of down and into a righty. He threw 39 pitches in the strike zone, 35 out of the zone. Batters would swing at 37 of his pitches and take 37. And it looks like they would swing more at the four-seamers, take more of the changeups, and about 50-50 on those sliders. He threw 24 balls, 18 strikes, 13 called, 5 of those swinging. The swinging strikes were 3 sliders and 2 four-seamers. 32 pitches were contacted with in some shape, form, or fashion. 22 foul tips, 4 hits for outs, 6 base hits, 4 hard hits, a grounder, a line drive, and 2 fly balls. And then calling balls and strikes was Brian Onora. 93% overall accuracy, 92% overall consistency, overall favor, plus 0.2 runs for San Francisco. So all 3 games, the umps showed some favor to the Giants, and we lost 2-3. That's wow. Impactful missed calls, top of the third, Manaea to Meneses, 1 out, bases empty, a 3-2 count, strike. It's called a ball. Top of the third, Manaea to Garcia, no outs, bases empty, a 2-2 count, ball is called a strike. Bottom of the 7th, Gray to Schmitt, 0 outs, runner on first, 0-2 count, a strike is called a ball. His called ball accuracy was 97%. 3 of 98 called balls are true strikes. And his called strike accuracy, 85%. 7 of 48 called strikes are true balls. So there you have it. Game 1, 5-1 Nationals. Game 2, 4-1 Giants. Game 3, 11-6 Nationals. This is not the series to really have a weird fluke first inning from DeSclafani and then have Manaea kind of collapse in on himself there for a little bit. But oh well. The series moves the Giants to 16-20 overall, 10-10 in home games. The Giants are currently 5-5 over the last 10 and 6 games back of the 23-15 Dodgers. Arizona sits in second place at 20-17 with the Padres in third at 19-18. Colorado is starting to catch up as well. They sit at 16-22, only 1 game back of the Giants. The next few series are not about to be easy either. The Giants have 4 against the Diamondbacks. They host Philly for 3 and then Miami for 3. The Giants have lost series to 4 teams, which many expect to not even be contenders this year. The Tigers, who are 17-19, the Royals, who are 11-27, the Marlins at 19-19, and now the Nationals at 16-21. These are all at the time of recording. The 4 of which are combined a 63-86. It's a .423 percentage. What makes the loss to the Nationals even more aggravating, aside from the fashion in which they lost, is how the Giants were coming off of series wins against the Astros and Brewers. The Giants only have winning records against the White Sox, who are 13-25, the Cardinals, who are also 13-25, the Astros, who are 19-18, and the Brewers, who are 20-17. The 4 of which are 65-85 for a .433 winning percentage. The White Sox and Cardinals are having really bad starts to their season and seem to be having identity crises. The Brewers and Astros were going through struggles while we played them and will eventually figure their season out, most likely. The only real positive notes for this series that I can really see, we'll start with Casey Schmitt. He made his major league debut. It's really cool to see someone coming from the farm system and having a really good 2-game start like this. First major league hit is a home run. He ended up going 4 for 8 in the 2 games that he played. So we look forward to seeing him in more games as the Giants continue on, and hopefully he can still maintain a pretty decent hitting streak. But no pressure there on the kid. And then the fact the Giants offense stayed in single digits with regard to strikeouts through the 3 games, and all 3 games, just 6, 5, and 4, for a total of 15 strikeouts between all 3 games. So that was nice to see. Now, whether that's the fact that they were able to at least put the ball in play and make the defense work, or if the Nationals pitchers just were not as good at getting those strikeouts, that remains to be seen. If the trend continues where we start staying in single digits, I'm going to put it on our Giants offense. If they start going back up to double digits against some of these other teams, I'm going to say it was the Nationals pitchers. And then also I like seeing that Logan Webb's earned runs per game are consistently going down. Runs given up per game is consistently going down. It was like 4, 4, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, something like that. So those are going down. He's giving quality starts now. Just waiting on that shutout start. It'd be really cool to see him go a full 9 shutty at some point this season. However, the lack of offensive production was disheartening. The most life was shown in the late innings of the final game. Too little, too late. We'll see how the momentum shifts as the team travels to Arizona. For context, for the next series, the Giants right now are on par with their Pythagorean win-loss record. The Diamondbacks are also 5-5 in their last 10, are 1 game better than their Pythagorean win-loss record. So real quick before we end this episode, I did want to take a look at the 2 pitchers that the Giants picked up in the offseason that they were kind of hoping to be part of the starting rotation. That would be Manaea and Stripling. Manaea currently has a 1-2 record with 6 total starts. And over those 6 starts, his innings pitched are 6 innings with 1 earned run, 3 1/3 with 2 earned runs, 3 2/3 with 5 earned runs, 2 innings with 4 earned runs, 5 total. That was also Mexico City. And just 5 innings with 3 earned runs, 4 total, and then 2.2 innings, 4 earned, 8 total. In these 6 starts, he's given up 5 home runs, walked 14, and struck out 28. Stripling is currently 0-2 with 4 starts. Over those 4 starts, his innings pitched are 5 with 4 earned runs, 3 1/3 with 2 earned runs, 3 total, 5 with 2 earned runs, and 5 with 5 earned runs. He has given up 5 home runs, walked 5, and struck out 12 in those starts. Another thing to really consider in the last start for Manaea and the last start for Stripling, Manaea walked 3, Stripling walked 2, and all 5 of those walks scored. So let's just kind of take a look. We're going to start with Manaea. And I was looking over his baseball reference and baseball savant pages, looking at baseball savant. One, the only thing that he's like top of the league in is his extension. He's in the 92nd percentile extension. But other than that, his fastball velocities, 59th percentile, strikeout percentage, 60th percentile, walk percentage, 15th percentile, barrel, 1%, expected to slugging, 2%, expecting batting average, 9%, hard hit, 21%. These are just not where you really want a starting pitcher to be. And this season so far, his ERA has ballooned up to a 7.96 over 26 total innings pitched. And looking back at his previous stats, you look back, he's started playing in 2016. He was with Oakland all the way up until last year, where he played for the Padres for just the 1 year. He's got the most innings pitched throughout the first 3 seasons he played with Oakland, and then the last season he was with Oakland and 2022. And looking at those, just ignoring the 2 seasons that he had like less than 55 innings pitched, it goes 3.86 ERA, 4.37 ERA, 3.59 ERA, 3.91, 4.96. So like no sub 3 ERAs in there. Like can't even get under 3.5. His strikeout rates though, let's see. 124 strikeouts for 144 innings pitched, 140 for 158, 108 for 160. The only time he had more strikeouts than innings pitched was in 21 in Oakland when he got 194 strikeouts through 179 and 1/3 innings pitched. He also gave up 179 hits in those 179 innings pitched, but did only walk 41. So his strikeout percentage, the highest it's been is a 27.5, but that was in 2019 when he only pitched 29.2 innings, so it doesn't really matter. His lowest walk rate, 3.6, but that was in 2020, and that was a shortened season, 54 innings pitched. This year, he's up to a 12.8% walk rate, but a 24.8% strikeout rate. So looking at all this and taking into consideration his previous years, I don't expect him to really come down. I'd like to see the ERA come down to less than 5, but I don't expect it to drastically drop to like 2 something or even a 3.1 or 3.2. I think a 3.8 to a 4.5 will probably be a vast improvement as far as and almost unrealistic improvement. I mean, like I said, look at his last year, 4.96. And then his really good year in 21, 3.91. It's the walk rate that needs to come down. This is the highest walk rate he's had. Again, this is only through 6 total starts, but 12.8%, and your next highest is 8%. So we got to have that come down. So his command needs to be better. And I heard some of the commentators talking about, maybe the increase in velocity that he achieved is having somewhat of an effect on his command. And if he can get that under control, drop the speed down a little bit, get that command back, and then try and bring the speed back up again. But hey, I've never actually played baseball on a professional level, obviously. So I mean, I could just be talking out of my ass. I probably just am, but I'm just repeating what I've heard from guys that have played and from people who are actually paid to talk about baseball. I'm not. And obviously the Giants felt that, when they picked him up, that maybe they can do something to help this guy out. I mean, they have shown that they're pretty good at picking up some pitchers that may have had some off years, but have also shown some promise in certain areas and can get them to produce in the way that they need and want them to. His expected batting average through all his years is never the lowest it's been. Was in a season he only pitched 29.2 innings. Everything else is decent batting averages. People are expected to hit against him at about a 240 to a 260 clip. So as long as we can get those strikeout numbers up and, you can keep the ground on the ball and we can have our defense convert those ground balls to outs, and he can keep that walk rate low, because that's what hurts. Every time it hurts more when a walk scores. So we'll see if they make any adjustments. As far as our actual starting rotation, Webb, DeSclafani, Cobb, they're going to be fixtures. And then Wood should be coming back. With Wood back, that leaves us 4. So now we're looking to fill that 5th spot. And I already heard it said, and I've seen it written, if this was kind of like an audition for that 5th spot, Manaea failed miserably. Hey, let's be honest, it sucks, but you got to be honest. And this is very much a results-based job. Every job should be results-based, but professional sports is one of the most results-based jobs that I can even think of. You do poorly, most likely, especially in baseball, you're either going to get sent down or you're going to get traded, or people just won't even pick up the contract next year. And this is one of those contracts where I was kind of happy that it wasn't longer than 2 years, because I remember watching him pitch for San Diego last year and I was like, not that great. And I'm pretty sure that even in the first episode where we went over the off-season signings, I probably said, let's try and be positive. Let's see what they can do with the guy. And we're watching in real time right now, and it's, for a lot of Giants fans, I imagine it's pretty painful. And according to StatCast and Baseball Savant, he relies on mainly 4 pitches, really mainly 3: 4-seamers, sliders, and changeups. So, yeah, the barrel percentage is also pretty bad. 17.3% barrel rate on his pitches. This is the only year it's been double digits. Last year it was 9.1, and the year before that it was 8. So it's just increasing. The year before that it was 7.1. So it's just increasing. It'll probably, who knows, maybe it'll go down, maybe it won't. And then we move on to Ross Stripling. Now, Ross Stripling, who also started in 2016, he's currently got a career WAR at 7.5 and a 3.88 career ERA. He's 0-2 through 4 starts this season. And looking at Baseball Savant, the only thing he is top in, which if you can only choose one thing, this is one of the like 3, 74 percentile for walk rate. Now his strikeout rate, 29th percentile. And then barrel percentage, 10th percentile, expected slugging, batting average, 3 and 6 respectively. 6.66 ERA through 7 games, 4 starts, 25.2 innings pitched. And again, looking back at his past, he's not a lot of, he doesn't pitch a lot of innings. Like his first year 100, next year 74.1. 2018 looks like his best year, 122. And then he doesn't get above 120 again until 2022, 134.1. His walks, the most walks he's given up in a year, 30. The least amount he's given up in a year, with substantial innings pitched. Looks like 22, 20, between 30 and 20. Strikeouts, most in a year, 136 with 122 innings pitched. That was 2018. Like I said, that looks like it was his best year. He only gave up 18 home runs that year. And then in 2021 with Toronto, he gave up 23 home runs over 101.1 innings pitched. But looking more recently at last year, right? He was with Toronto last year, had a 10-4 record, 3.01 ERA, started 24 games, went 134.1 innings pitched, gave up 117 hits, only 49 runs, 45 of which were earned, and only 12 home runs, and only walked 20. And got 111 strikeouts. And this year, you want to compare it to this year. So far, he's only pitched 25.2 innings, given up 32 hits, 20 runs, 19 of which are earned, and 8 home runs. So comparing those 2 years, the year that he had with Toronto, the guy that we thought we might be getting, and this year, the guy we got. And then looking at his walk rate this year, it's at a 6.1, but he had a 3.7 walk rate last year. Strikeout percentage, not too far, not much different, 19.1 to 20.7 percentage. It's the hard hit percentage that's gone up, and the barrel rate that has also gone up. He is sitting at a 12.9% barrel rate currently. Expected batting average 306 right now for him. That's pretty bad. The lowest expected batting average against that he's had is a 221. And so it looks like people are normally expected to hit about a 220 to 250 against him. Right now he's sitting at 306. So, and his current expected ERA is a 7.21. Again, this is someone that the Giants obviously felt that they can do something with. I mean, like I said, when you see the numbers from last year, 10-4 record, 24 starts, only 12 home runs, over 134 in a third innings. Looks like he'd be a good addition to the lineup, or excuse me, to the rotation. He's a slider, four seamer, changeup guy mainly. Then you got a curveball and a sinker and split finger on here that also have percentages. And it says similar, like one thing I like about Baseball Savant, they say similar pitchers to Ross Stripling based on the velocity movement. 21 Chris Flexen, 22 Chris Flexen, 2020 Jordan Lyles, 2021 Tristan McKenzie, and 2023 Peyton Battenfield. But and then he's a 44.7% ground ball guy. And then after that, it's line drives. So again, and I've said this plenty of times before, and I'm kind of getting tired of saying it. I'll probably stop saying it after the end of this month, but there's still a lot of baseball to be played. It's one of those situations where you hope they do come out of the funk. They do come out of whatever is holding them down, whatever's going on in that clubhouse, whatever's going on mentally, psychologically. We're still dealing with injuries again. Yaz was still on the IL, and now Slater with his hamstring tightness. He was going to be evaluated. Those are two guys we can't not have in the lineup as far as offense goes, and their defense is good in the outfield. And we need to get our young guys really going. We need to get Wisely going. Sable's been good, but we need to get his errors as catcher down. Now that Schmidt's up, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see them just give him more playing time, honestly. Let Crawford mentor him, but give Schmitt the playing time more often than not. But crazier things have happened as far as how seasons can turn around. And we'll see if anything does click or snap into place. It would be really fun if it did. We will see. Like I said, 4 against Arizona coming up in Arizona. The first game is today. I'm looking forward to it. I honestly think it's going to be a fun series to watch. If for nothing other than seeing some of these young guys actually get chances to play. Arizona's got some fast guys on the base paths, so it will be a challenge. Once again, thank you for listening. I truly appreciate it. If you have any comments, tips, pointers, corrections, just let me know. I truly appreciate any and all feedback that I would get. Again, all the sources for the information today: ESPN, Baseball Reference, Baseball Savant, scorecards, The Athletic, Grant Brisbee and Andrew Baggerly, and then NBC Sports Bay Area, Alex Pavlovich. So everybody have a good weekend and enjoy the series against Arizona. And I will see you again on Monday. Peace.